In this video, I have two full example solves where I bring the things together that I've taught you in this module and try and outline my thought process during a solve. Okay, so these are some example solves. The first thing I do is obviously scan around the cube and look for what's good or what centers will be quite easy to execute. And I see these three blue pieces and these two here, and the last one on this right-hand side. So I can pretty easily do my first 2x3 block by adding this one down here and then doing D, F prime. And before I do the wide R prime to put this one down the bottom, what I'll do is do a U prime, wide R prime, and then R to move this one here, and then do D prime, D2, check the back, and there's nothing really here, so I'll do a wide R prime like that. This isn't a particularly nice case for this second center. So I remember I have the corner here, that's not very useful, so I'd rotate here, and I see I have two edge pieces, so with these we can actually make a T. I mean, it's not a very good case at all. What I would probably do is R, L prime, U prime, R prime, L, and then make the T like that. Remembering I have the corner center on this side, I'd rotate again. I have this edge center here, finish off the T, and then with my corner center here, the other two pieces had to be here. So I would make the 1x3 and insert it like that. Then I would rotate and check out what's going on here. Probably the first thing I see are these orange pieces, so I'd probably put in this 2x1 there, and then take a look on the back side first to see what I can put in, and there's this one which I can attach to this piece. And then I had these two in the front, which means my edge center will be on the bottom. So what I can do is go rotate that way, move my edge center like that, and then place that, then place that on the back. So then it's up to me to decide whether I want to do the top center first or the bottom one. Because this is on the top already and I can't really see what's on the bottom, I'd probably do this. So let's make a T again. So I've got these, which I can make a 1x3 from, and then two edge centers down here. So I guess a handy trick to know is that if you have only one edge center here, and if there are three edge centers on one side, here there's no edge centers of the yellow, and there's no edge centers of yellow here. If you have three on one side, then two have to be opposite one another. So you can always just go like that and make a 2x3, and then I would attach. So remembering that this corner center is here, I would pair up these two like this so that I can easily put those into the back. Then I would insert this one and then solve these two. And as I'm doing this, I notice I've got these two wings here. So my first instinct is to probably just look for the midge of the red and white pieces, and it's not in the top or the middle. So I'd do a Z2, rotate, and it ends up to be here. Put that in, and I notice this incorrect pair. So I'd put that there, and the other wing is over here. So I'd do something like this. I'd probably slice that, then flip this midge, and then slice two back like that. And as I did that, I noticed these red and yellow. So I got this one here, and this one here, which is a pretty easy insert. So I would do something like wide D prime, U prime, and then insert this, and then use a wide U prime. That probably wasn't the most efficient thing to do, but it would have kept the flow going in my solve. Then I would take this out, and I already saw that this 1x2 block was there and the other wing was here. So take that out, flip, slice, and if I can, I'll do something productive, but again, I don't necessarily have to. The one thing that I do see with this midge is this wing here. And now I've stored these four on this layer. I can flip over completely and continue my work. So I've got these two now. The midge is here. The other wing is here, sorry. As I'm doing that, I notice this one and this block already formed. So I would solve that, rotate, insert that like this. And as I solved these two wings came together and the midge is here. And then, the most obvious thing that I saw was this and this. So we can figure out, I guess, the best way of inserting this. I would probably just do this and then insert it with a rotation. Take it out and finish off and resolve my centers. So after doing that, I would quickly scan and see that there's actually no midges which have any wings attached to them at all. So I would just rotate and do an MU to M prime or something of that sort. And then I see these two pieces came together. So I'd grab this one, grab the edge out of the back right slot here, do a wide U, and then I need to figure out the best way to insert this. So when I did the wide U, this green and white one came here and this green and white edge is here. So if I insert it like this, these two will be paired, and I notice that the third one is back here. So I can take this out, slice, and so forth, and then my last two edges are in this front face. So I would probably, to make this one opposite this wing, I would do a move like that. So kind of like R prime, F, rotation, R prime, slice, flip, slice back, and then go on and solve my 3x3 stage. Now, it probably makes most sense to actually do the cross that's on the bottom, particularly in a case like this where we already have one cross edge oriented and I can spot the other ones fairly quickly. So I'd probably go ahead and do that. So attach this one and this one, rotate, do my last cross edge. Again, you don't need to worry about making your cross optimal because for the most, like with no inspection, it's obviously a lot harder than the regular 3x3 solving. So it's fine to make, only solve 2 cross edges at a time and then maybe place the last one in or the last 2 in one at a time. It's good to have an idea of where all your cross pieces are before you start. So don't just solve one and then look for the others. Look for all of them and then start solving them. But you don't necessarily, it's probably impractical to try and plan the most optimal cross solution when you have no inspection on the fly. So that's, I guess, my general advice for solving the cross. Do these two, these two, these two. And then here I would definitely rotate and solve these two. Now what I might do actually is orient some edges. Particularly on bigger cubes, I like to orient edges so that I can do things like COLL, ZBLL, and even just easier OLLs. And then I have PLL. Okay, second example solve, and there's a fair bit going on here with the centers, a lot of blocks all over the place. The one that immediately caught my eye was the white center, so I've got this and this, which can easily create a 2x2, and then I've got this block here, and the last 3 center pieces are here. So I would probably do something like this, so U, R prime, U, R, and then I need to decide whether I'll do this block, attach this block, or attach this block. I might do something like this, so L prime, B prime. So that gets the first 2x3 done. Then I would probably try and rotate whilst I'm finishing off the first center and do that and look on the back face to see if there's anything useful. So I can do a B prime before inserting that last 1x3, and then I can work on making a T. So attach one of these 2 corner centers to here, remembering that this last corner center was here. Insert this edge center, and then instead of rotating this way and inserting this edge center, I would probably rotate this way because I saw that this was the only yellow piece on this face. So I can rotate this way, insert the yellow center there to make the 2x3, and then complete my line and insert it. Then I would rotate, and I immediately see I have this 1x3 line on blue. So I would go like RU, R prime, U, RU, R prime. The reason I wouldn't do something like attach this one, use this corner and this corner, is because I want to eliminate all the blue from this side so that my only remaining blue pieces would be on the bottom and the back here. So I now know that, okay, I have this blue corner is here, the blue edge must be on the bottom, and indeed it is. So I can do that to pair it up and insert it on the back there. Now, I guess I move this to the bottom with my rotations. So what I can do is insert this in the front face, rotate twice and insert this center, this edge center, sorry, which gives me the T on the bottom. Now I've got this one here, and so I need to figure out what's the best way of solving these. I'd probably just go something like this, and then attach these 3. Then I've got this 1x3 line, outer line here, so I'd probably best to create a T. So I'd do a U prime like that, and then the last three. And as I'm solving those, I'm trying to look for what's coming next. I guess the one I did see that I would probably immediately go for is this orange and green. So I've got this orange and green, this one and this one. So I'd do something like R, D2 to pair up those two, R prime U, R, U2. And sometimes it is just good to go with what you see immediately rather than trying to assess all of the options all around the cube, because yeah, when you start edges, there's going to be a million options. And it's the same thing with looking ahead for the next edge. If you want to really try and keep your flow going during the edges, sometimes it is just better to do what you see rather than what may be the most efficient thing. And even here, there's like literally nothing paired up all around the cube. There are no wings attached to their midges. So I could do something like this. So I see these two and this one. To pair up those, and now we've got this wing attached to this midge. So I do something like this with the final wing, wide D, flip, U prime like that. Now when I did that, I had a quick glance back here, and these red and white wings were luckily matched up, and this red and white midge is here. So I'd attach those, and then there's nothing particularly constructive that we can do. I guess this midge is connected to this, is the matching midge for this wing. So we could take it out like that and pair those two up and then flip it over and look for the last wing for these two, which is here. Do a wide U prime like that. Oh, and luckily we've got this 1x3 edge here solved already. So we'll need to keep that in mind when we're taking out pieces and putting this one into the top layer. So I guess what I'd go for is I'd either look at this midge or this midge, and this one is fairly straightforward. I've got these two wings to attach to it. So I can put this one in this slot and this one in this slot, then do a U, D2, and then I've got this edge solved. And when I did that, these two were paired up luckily as well. So there's a couple of different options. I can do U and then F, R prime, F prime, R, or I can do a rotation, insert this one into the back, then do a wide U, and take this one out, and then finish off my centers. That's probably what I would go for. Now here, I immediately notice I have these two wings. So I would look for the corresponding wing for these, corresponding midge for these two wings, and it's right here. So I have the really easy case where I just pull these two down, do a U2, and pull them back up. And luckily this one got solved in the process, and my last two edges are a very easy case with no parity. So that was literally doing like MU to M prime, and then I'm on my last two edges. And we can do something like RU prime B, slice, flip, slice back. And again, when we have no parity, it's often harder to look ahead into our cross because we don't have that mindless parity algorithm, which allows us to look ahead. So I'd see these two white edge pieces, and then these two are right next to them as well. So I'd probably just be inclined to go ahead and do those ones. They kind of stuck out to me in my mind. D2 like that. F2L pair, F2L pair, number 3, and number 4. OLL, and then finish off the PLL, and we're all done.